So, welcome in one of our very own Quadrant Athletes, WMX World Champion and Queen of the Sand, Lotte Van Drunen. How are you today, Lotte?
I'm good, thank you. Excited to be here and how are you?
I'm great, I'm good.
Hello, how are you doing? Haven't met before. I'm very excited to meet you. And I think Queen of the Sand might be the coolest title I've ever heard in my life. Why do they call you Queen of the Sand?
Well, that pretty much started when I was like a little girl racing between the boys, and then the people that made my gear, they put it on my pants. And that's basically when that name came up. And then it started to actually come through every race again. And I started winning, and that's when everything started becoming the Queen of Sand.
Queen of Sand. So your thing is motocross. Now, I'm not going to lie to you here, Lotte. I don't know that much about motocross. Bikes, mud, sand, jumps. That's kind of where my knowledge goes. So could you fill me in a little bit in exactly what you do?
Yeah, well, that's pretty much it.
Love it.
No,
Sounds good.
it's of course, it's a really complicated sport, but like you say, it's just getting off the gate, racing, mud. This year especially, there's a lot of mud. And then jumps, big jumps. I love big jumps. And yes, it's lately it's not been fair racing, so it's really hard in the races right now.
And does it take you all around the world then with motocross?
Definitely everywhere. Yeah, I've been in quite some places already, and same like this year. The last race of this season is in Australia, so that's quite far away. For it to be the last one is a little bit unfortunate, but I also got my home GP, and we go to Italy. We just go all around the world.
And in terms of the format, so it's a weekend thing. I'm guessing you've got practices, you've got qualifying. Is it similar to the F1 setup, or is it completely different?
Well, obviously it's different, but we got on Saturday for the women's, it's a free practice, and then after time practice, and then in the afternoon we got our first moto. It's like a moto from 20 minutes and 2 laps. And then on Sunday morning we have 2 or 3 laps to know the track. And then we have our second moto. And those 2 motos combined together with the points gets for the overall.
Wow. So you've done, by the time you're actually racing, you've done quite a few laps, like you know the track pretty well, or is it every time you go around it kind of looks different?
Well, the track stays the same, but it's just the lines that change basically every lap. Like no lap is the same, so you never know the track, but like the layout and the jumps, that's for sure what you need to know.
And do you love that? Do you love not knowing and you just kind of
well, it's scary sometimes. Sometimes when you like enter a turn and you see that the corner's messed up, but you're already full gas on the throttle and you're like, do I brake or do I take the risk of maybe crashing? Like, it's a little bit scary sometimes, but yeah, I think that's like gives you more adrenaline, and I love that.
So if we rewind a bit, let's go all the way back to the start. So like, when and how did you get into motocross?
Well, I have 3 older brothers, and they were riding because of my dad was riding, just as a hobby. And then as the youngest in the family, they bought me a bike on my 4th birthday. And I started riding, and at the beginning I didn't really like it. I mean, a girl who likes motorbikes, you know?
Yeah.
And then I think it was 2013 that my brother became national champion, and it was like all champagne, and I was like, oh yeah, I want all the attention too. And I started racing in 2014, and yeah, then 2 years later I won my first national title as a girl ever between the boys.
Thanks to our friends at Revolut. If you're in the UK, US or Australia and haven't signed up, you can get £20, $20 or 40 Australian dollars just by signing up with the link below, or scanning the QR code on screen and making your first transaction. If you didn't know, Revolut is used by over 55 million people worldwide, helping you manage and make the most of every aspect of your finances. Revolut makes currency exchange very easy. You can spend in lots of different currencies and exchange at great rates. Even if you've got to exchange in-app, Revolut automatically converts your home currency to the local one. You can even view live rates in the app, so there are no surprises. And it's got useful security features to protect your money even while you're abroad. Say you lose your card or are worried someone has your details, you can freeze the card in-app in seconds, order a new one straight away and use the virtual cards while you wait for the new one. You can check out Revolut in the description below. How did you find going into motocross, which is quite a male-dominated sport at the moment? How did you find that going against the boys?
Well, at the beginning, I guess I didn't really realize that, you know, but after a while I started seeing like every time I won from the boys, like especially their parents being like really pissed and angry, and there was like not much contact anymore. So yeah, it was like changing a lot. But after a while, I enjoyed that definitely, especially when I won. It's weird, and then in the younger classes, when everybody's still young, I think girls and boys are still pretty much the same, so they're able to race against each other. But now getting older, it's getting more tough, and the boys are getting stronger and way heavier than me. So now it's been, yeah, quite a challenge to catch up with them. But I was one of the girls that could do it when I was younger, so that's still the goal for now, for sure.
And do you feel the pressure of being a woman in your sport? Because like we said, there's not that many. Do you feel like you're kind of flying the flag for women? Or do you feel like, look, I just love doing it and I happen to be a girl?
Yeah, well, I think a little bit of both because, like you say, yeah, yes, I'm a girl, but I love racing. And then also there's a lot of little girls that look up to me and want to be like me. And I like to, like show them that it's possible and like motivate them to do it as well. Because lately I've seen a lot of more girls on the track than like 5 years ago. And like when I was riding at like the age of 9, there were like, I was the only girl in the class. And now you see more girls coming into it. So that's like maybe also a little bit what motivates me to keep going, like to show that it's possible and maybe some other girls can have the same future as I had too.
I think that's really good that that's your outlook, because I think it's quite easy to flip it and feel the pressure of, I'm like a pioneering woman. Not many people have done this before. There's a lot of pressure on me to do well. But I really like the way you can see it as, actually, this is quite special. And you can, motivate others to do the same and in that way motivate yourself. So are the fans quite a big part of your sport?
Definitely. Also, for a woman in motocross right now, it's really hard to make a living for it because, men are just like still bigger in the sport. And even though the women's are like growing, it's going really well. But for me, social media is like really important, like to get everybody to know me, And I think the fans are playing a big role for that. And also when I get to a track, to a race, and I see like all the fans cheering for me and like pink and orange, like the smoke things, like in sighting lap, that just makes me happy and like really excited to race and push for a good result. So
how would you say your mentality shifts, or do you have like a different mindset when you go to an event that is mixed compared to when you're doing WMX? Do you feel like additional pressure?
That's a tough one because women and men just race so differently. And I think women like to take risk on each other, let's say, like be really close. And then the men are they're racing really rough, but like they look after each other. And when you race just women, for me, because I'm in the front, it's like 5 girls that are really fast. And then it starts like slowly building down. But when I race mixed or just against men, it's like I'm in the mid pack and it's so rough. Everybody wants to be in front of the girl, that's for sure. It's like a red flag being waved in front of them. So it's a bit, I think I race a little bit different when I race against women or men. Maybe I should get like that little extra fire in me that I race with a man. I should get that to women because that would maybe make me fast and get better results. But it's definitely different racing men versus women.
So is it similar to the F1 drivers who kind of all grow up together around karting? So they're extremely competitive, but at the same time, they've known each other for so long. There's that kind of camaraderie a little bit. What's it like in the paddock with you guys? Is it just sheer competition?
Yeah, well, you grow up racing together, but now in the women's class, I am still one of the youngest drivers. So I didn't grow up racing with the riders I am riding with right now. But when I race against the boys, then those boys are mostly the boys that I used to beat when I was younger. I saw last week a post from 2018, the Junior World Championship, and I got so many messages from like boys that I used to win from that race. Like, oh, I'm so glad I'm faster than you now. And it's so funny to see, actually.
Yeah, I bet. So it's very much that competitive nature all the way. And are you a competitive person? Like, is it in your genes?
Yeah, definitely.
Like in everything you do?
Yes. Everything I do, I want to win or be the best or be the fastest. Like, sometimes it's maybe a little bit going crazy, but especially on track, even when it's a practice and there's like a girl like on the track that is normally slower than me, I say to myself, if you're not this much faster, it's not a good day. Or when there's like a fast guy, I'm like, you need to be this much slower to make it a good day. Like, I'm really competitive with this.
Amazing. And a lot of athletes talk about kind of their family and mentors and the team they have around them. How has your family and the team you have around you helped you throughout the years, like from the day one to kind of now to when you won the World Championship? How important has that been?
Well, for me, it's been really important. Without, especially my dad, it would have never been possible. We really traveled around the world together, and then my mom does all, like, let's say we go to Italy, me and my dad just drive everywhere, and my mom is at home, like booking hotels, finding tracks, like we have to do it all together. And when I was racing national championships, two of my brothers would always come with me and like be my trainer. And now when I race and go to Australia, that might be a little bit more difficult. But family for me is definitely really important. They played a big role in my career so far already. And now I'm getting more into like a team, and I have a good trainer and physically. So I think it's really important to give yourself like a good space of people around you that support you with your goals and your dreams, because if you really need to fight for it alone, it's going to be even more tough, because the world in motocross is so small.
And how do you find it mentally? Like, how much of it is a mental sport? Because I feel like a lot of times, like when we've spoken to athletes and like when we spoke to Lando, it's clear how much of it is in his head. Is it the same for you?
Definitely. When I had a bad race, I'm honestly quite easy with this. Like when I had a bad race, I say to myself immediately, we need to work harder than we ever did before to get better than I was last weekend. Like, but definitely mentally stuff. Like last GP, there was a girl and she had on the podium, but she was still crying because she didn't win or she didn't beat me. And like, I think this plays such a big role. Like, even I passed my driving test before that race. I think if I didn't pass that, mentally I would have been like going to the race like, a little bit more sad, Yeah. So everything around you plays also a big role in the mind. So before a race, you really need to make sure you go happy to the race. And like, if it's your last practice and you had a bad day, I would always take another day to get it a good day before you go to the race, because otherwise
it's not going to be good.
No, it's not going to be good, no.
And do you have ways of kind of switching your mentality? So you've had a bad practice. Do you have things in place that can kind of switch that into a more positive outlook, or?
It's difficult because it depends on how bad it was or what was the problem. But like, let's say I had a really bad qualifying practice. Then the first thing my trainer says to me, because let's say he said on Friday on track walk, like time practice is going to be really important because there's only one good gate on the start. And then if I get a bad time, I'm like, oh, what do I do now? There was only one bad or wrong good gate. Yeah. And then he say, no, there's good. We're just going to move to the outside. It's also good. Then you go around. Like, it's really the people around you that need to calm you down and make you help focus on the race again. Because after bad time practice, you really need to reset yourself and then go again on the gate and be 100%.
And do you have any like weird pre-race rituals, like just before you go?
Not really, no.
You just get up.
I have to pee like 20 times before I go. That's for sure.
That's probably fair enough.
But no, I don't have anything weird. No.
You just get ready and get going.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive. I feel like I'd do something weird. Are you superstitious? Like,
what's that?
So do you have like lucky socks? Or like you have to
get on the bike from one side or something?
No, also not really, no. But I am like
a bit more chilled, isn't it? You don't have to be doing a whole routine before you get on.
That's probably because you're a professional.
I like to plan out my day like before I go riding. Like on the race day, the night before, I plan like 8 a.m. like breakfast, waking up, and like the time I need to get dressed, the time I warm up, like everything I have in my phone planned out. And then, because then all I need to do is look at my phone. Oh, I have like 15 minutes. I can do nothing, you know?
Oh, so you don't have to think.
Yeah.
Like it's all there.
Extra mental stress
that's quite clever.
Yeah. Because sometimes last year, I was looking at my phone. I was like, oh, what time I need to race? And I was like, oh, I got like 30 minutes before I need to go. And then I still had to gear up and get a warm up. So that's why I need to do that.
And behind the scenes, what kind of training goes into being a motocross rider? Because it looks really physical.
Oh, it is.
I was tired just watching when I went.
It looks pretty intense. So do you have like a pretty intense routine that you've got to go through to keep yourself fit?
Yeah, definitely, especially in the winter, because now during the races we need to make sure that when we get to the start line we are 100% and not a little bit tired. But like in the winter, it's a lot of cycling, going to the gym, and normally running. But after my injury last winter, I cannot run anymore. So I started swimming and then going to the gym and then also riding the bike. It's definitely a lot. And then when the weather is good, it's nice. But like I say, in the winter, when it's raining and you still need to do the 2-hour cycle and even more, it's horrible.
Do you enjoy that? Like, do you actually enjoy that? Or it's like it goes kind of part and parcel with the job? Like, you kind of have to do it. You can be honest. You can say.
You don't need to lie, because anytime I cycled, it was the worst thing in my life.
No, but when the weather is nice and I go on a cycle, I'm like, oh, this is nice. Like, I enjoy it. I put on some music. Yeah. But when it's raining and I have like my AirPods in and like they start like flattering because of the water coming in, I'm like, oh, why am I doing this? But it's funny though, because when I'm riding, same like when cycling, when the weather can be really good and I can be happy, or the weather can be really shit and I can be really, really happy because it's raining so much, or still be really mad because I had a bad day or something.
Well, so it really affects how you feel.
Yeah.
Should we talk briefly about your injury? Because you did have a hell of an injury.
Yeah, it was horrible. I went to the USA to race the race that I won the year before. So I was really excited and I had a even better bike. I tested it and it was awesome. And then I had a crash and I really hurted my ankle and I was still walking, but it wasn't great. So I waited over the weekend and then on Monday was all okay during riding. And then on Tuesday we went to a track with more jumps and I landed on a jump and when you're riding, you try to stand like as far back on the feet packs that you can with your foot. And I did that and I land. And because of my ankle was already weak from the crash, my ankle just goes like all the way to here and it hits the ground. And I felt immediately like it's broken. It's gone. And I lay on the ground and I say, oh, not again, not again.
Oh no.
And then all I could think of was, I'm here in the USA now. I broke my ankle. Like, what am I gonna do?
What's going on?
Yeah. And so we went to take x-rays of my ankle. And then we went immediately to the airport because we're like, she's not going to race anymore. So there was a long drive, I can tell you that, because there was 3 hours. And then we got a call from the hospital we were. And they say, it's really, really broken. Like, it's bad. And then I started zooming in. I was like, yeah, that's bad. And the first thing, like, I immediately started crying. Like, oh, I'm not going to make it to the season. And I was so sad. And then the worst part about the injury was like I say, it was a 3-hour ride to the airport. Then we had to wait 4 hours, then fly for 9 hours, then ride back to my home for an hour, wait an hour, and then I could get a cast on my ankle. I didn't have anything around it, no painkillers, and it was just dangling, dislocated and broken. In a normal airplane seat, I can tell you that was the worst time of my life.
Savage. That is, and the only thing you're thinking of is, I'm not going to be able to race.
Yeah.
Not,
Yes.
ow.
The stress of the next
Really
season.
hurts.
You were kind of lucky it happened towards the end of the season, right? End of the year.
It was
So
the
it was-
best time for
yeah.
it to happen. It could have even happened a little bit more early, so I had more of a winter preparation. But then I came home, and I think it was the day after, I went to the gym. I just changed. Like you say, it's all the mind. Like I say to myself, oh, I need to go work really hard to be able to even race a few races next season. And I did, and I was really, I was quite lucky because my trainer, another rider he's riding in the MXGP class. He had broken his ankle 2 years before. So he knew the doctor already and he gave me a plan. And so I had surgery, which went really well, even quicker than the doctor would expected it to be. But then we also found out that the damage in my ankle was even worse because all my ligaments were ripped and it was horrible. And then after surgery, I bought a hand bike myself and I went physical training and just in the rain. And I went for, I just I have to stay physically in a good shape. And then I started healing so quickly that I went to the doctor again and he say, yeah, you know what, 6 weeks, I want you to come back and then you can maybe start walking again. Wow. And that night, I took my bicycle. I had still like a plastic boot on, and I put on my left cycling shoe, and I went cycling with one leg, and just inside 2 hours straight.
Is your left leg really strong now?
No, now my right leg is quite okay, actually.
It's back.
Yeah, but it was definitely tough, but really fun. And then the doctors say, on even sooner than anyone would have ever thought, after not even 2 months, you can go walk, and in 2 weeks you can start riding. Wow. Well, after those 2 weeks, that day I went riding. I did like 3 or 4 laps on like a really small track. And the next day we took the boat to Sardinia to start winter training. Oh, wow. And I can tell you that was also really tough because my ankle was not ready for that.
No, I bet.
Did it affect your confidence though after the crash and then that first kind of day back on the bike with the ankle still sort of recovering? Like, how did you process that in your head? Or were you you were just happy to be back on and just
I was just happy
out?
to be back on that quickly.
Didn't scare you?
Yeah, no. I was just all happy. And then the track that I rode in Sardinia was the track where I had my first GP of this season. And I just went riding. I was just seriously rolling around like girls that get P15 were faster than me. But I didn't care. I was just there to ride and feel the track. Yeah. And I think that gave me a lot of confidence in my ankle as well, because the track was so rough. So I didn't have any choice than to use that ankle. And then I came finally to the first race there, and I had so much confidence, definitely.
Good.
Because you are 17, so you are pretty young.
Crazy.
Are you at the point where motocross feels like your job, or is it still just you just do it because you love it and it's really fun, or is it, no, I want to do this properly forever, like this is what I want to do with my life?
Well, I definitely have a lot of fun racing. Like if I don't have fun racing motocross, I won't do it. That's for sure. Like the fun needs to be there. That's what my dad always used to say. It's first fun, then results, and then the money will come after. So it's for me, if it's not fun, there will not be any results. And now when you're leading the World Championship after winning it last year as the youngest ever, and you're still the youngest probably on the gate, I can tell you it is really fun.
I bet.
Yeah, definitely.
Really cool. So then what's the next goal? Because you've won, you've done pretty well, you're leading now. Do you just keep going and keep going? What's the next step for you?
Well, of course, I want to win more World Championships, especially this one again this year, because if I win this year, I'm still gonna be the youngest ever, because the one before me was 18 and like so many months, and then I will still be younger than that. So if I could manage to be a 2-time world champion as 2 times the youngest ever, that's crazy. That's pretty cool. But it's always been my dream since a little kid, like to race between the boys. And now it's my dream to race against men. So I'm working really, really hard, and I'm willing to sacrifice anything for that. If I could make that happen, that would like be the highlight of my career for sure.
So MXGP is kind of the next sort of goal that you want to achieve. What about does Supercross interest you?
Well, honestly, I love it. I really love Supercross. I used to race it when I was like really small, and then I had a big crash on the Supercross track, and my dad said never again. No. We don't do this anymore.
Is it a lot more dangerous?
Supercross is quite dangerous, yes. It's got just so many more jumps, and like the jumps are really like they barely have a landing. But if you don't make it to the landing,
time it wrong, then
then it's gonna be a big crash for sure. That's what happened with my ankle.
But they do it in a stadium, right? Supercross.
Yeah, normally yes.
So in America, some of the events are crazy.
Not just the events are crazy, but the riders as well.
Yeah, I've seen some highlights, and the crashes are like, no, I'm not doing that.
It tracks like crazy people. No fear whatsoever, like you, basically, no fear. Yeah. I have to ask, have you ever thought about 4 wheels instead of 2 wheels? And would you ever do some car stuff, maybe?
Honestly, no, never.
Really?
Never. I have never known any 4 wheels. It was just, I started racing on motocross, and then I tried like gymnastics and dancing, but for me it was always motocross, and I've never looked like 4 wheels or any other sport, no.
But you've just passed your driving test.
Yes, at
So
once.
you can drive now.
Yeah.
So maybe once you start driving a bit, you'll be like, oh,
Do some track days, you know. Do some track
Yeah,
days.
might be fun, yes. But I don't think everybody around me would support me into that.
really? They just stay on the two.
It'll
Stay on
be
the
easier
two.
for you. There's no way I would get on a motocross bike. That,
Yeah,
that
there's no
scares.
chance.
That's just what you grow
That
up.
just when I watched where were we in Spain? Was it Lugo?
Yeah, Lugo, yeah.
The mud is like this thick. They're just like flying through the air. I wanted to ask, you know, the track seemed to change like every lap with the, what do you call them? The
The ruts.
How do you navigate that when, say, you're in the lead and you come up to the hairpin or whatever, and it looks completely different? How do you quickly decide what's the best line to take? Are the ruts fast or inside or?
Let's say there's a jump before the corner. You are in the air, you're looking to the corner and you're like, oh, it's messed up. And you just have to turn in front of it or just hit it full gas and take the risk of crashing.
Deciding mid-air, I'd just be trying to survive.
Yeah, because you're really quick at reactions. Because we were saying, we've seen you do a reaction test.
Yeah.
And it's like ridiculous. With
This is like my warm-up.
Really?
Yeah.
I would be so bad at that. I think I would actually be too embarrassed to even try it.
Well, my trainer sometimes tries. He's pretty quick, but he misses like a lot of balls.
Nowhere near your standard. Should we talk about things that aren't racing? Do you have hobbies? Because this is one thing we really want to do is get to know athletes like beyond their sport. Have you got time for hobbies?
Not so much, but for me then cycling is more of a hobby. And I love shopping, that's for sure. That's probably my main hobby, yes.
Hey, love this.
Yeah, and I don't know, I just love going and do something with my brothers or my friends, like going to the movies or go-karting.
See, that's
Yeah.
that's
See, there you go, 4
yeah,
wheels.
you can do that.
It's fun, yes. And I love doing my own nails, definitely. That's something I can spend all day on, yes.
Yeah, I'm not quite on that.
Yeah, you need to catch.
Maybe one day.
But that's quite fun. Like, I think there's a new wave at the moment, and I think it happens a lot with like F1 Academy of girls that can do both.
Yeah.
Like, you can compete with the boys, you can do some pretty cool things that are stereotypically male dominated, but you can also do your nails, you can go shopping, you can be what is stereotypically a girl. Like, you can do both.
Yeah, you definitely can. That's what you say with F1 Academy. They also show that that's like, I saw so many girls like working with makeup brands and stuff like that. I think that's so cool. Like to see a girly girl racing and then sometimes against the boys, that's so cool to see.
Yeah, I think it's so important to show that you can do both. Like, you don't have to pick and you can still be yourself.
Yeah.
Do you think motocross is now like such a part of you that it is like your identity, or do you think that's
Probably.
still you?
Motocross is like most of my identity for sure. But it's so funny to see, like sometimes I'll post a picture on my Instagram where I'm like covered in dirt and everything. And then like a day after or even the evening after, I would like dressed up and going out for dinner. Like it's so funny actually.
That's quite cool that you can have both.
Yeah, definitely.
And because you were talking about social media earlier, do you think social media is helping you, or do you think it's doing, I mean, do you get critics? Do you get people that are not so nice, or is it kind of okay?
I think there's always people that are not nice on social media, but honestly, I don't even look at it. I manage my Instagram together with my mom, and she just opens everything and she's like, okay, you reply to this or that. And I think,
So handy. Your mom's great.
yeah, that's really easy. But I think social media is playing a big part for everyone now in their careers. Yeah. Like a lot of brands like it when you do well on social media to promote their brands. So I think for me, that's definitely a good one. And I also enjoy doing it. Like there's so many girls that come up to me on a race day or like their dads and be like, oh, she loves watching you. And after she saw you cycling on Instagram, she went for a run immediately or something like this. You know, that's so sweet to see.
And I think like when they talk about influencers, like that is what influencing is. Like that's exactly that. Like you're inspiring young girls to do what you do.
Yeah, well, that's what I want to do. I want little girls to look up to me and be like, oh, I want to do that. And then for them to actually do what I do so I can, you know, maybe race with them in the future. Who knows?
Yeah.
That's really cool. You don't feel no added pressure of being that inspiration for the younger girls?
No, I really enjoy it. Yeah. That's all. And I try to enjoy my time on the bike. And once I do this, the nerves just go away.
Because I experienced when I was racing, the further I went up the ranks, kind of going back to the enjoyment and then it being a job, I found the further I got up and the more pressure and sponsors, the fun slowly started to fade away. You have never had that, really. You kind of just enjoyed it.
I enjoy
even
it.
from day one, your first couple of races to that last race fighting for the world championship.
Of course, it's always like a race where you're like mad at yourself or you're like, why am I doing this? Because honestly, when I'm at the gate, maybe not for a women's race because it's not so long, like it's only 20 minutes. But like when I was in Lommel last year racing between the guys, it's 30 minutes and 2 laps. And Lommel is known as the heaviest track in the world. I was like behind the gate and like the 15-second board went up and I was like, why am I doing this? What am I doing here? I'm gonna suffer for 35 minutes in like massive heat. Like why, you know? And then I come off and I'm like, oh, I'm so happy and feel so good that I did this. So of course you always have that, but for me it's always just fun. And when I have like, let's say I start really far at the back in a mud race, I'm like, if I get on the podium, maybe I can go shopping next week, you know? I'm like, I need to get on the podium.
Flying through the ramps,
That would be
thinking
my
about shopping.
mindset.
How many tear-offs do you go through? How does it, you pull it or? 'Cause the mud is crazy. You guys are like, there's a layer of mud on them after the race. So
Yeah.
I don't know how fast you pull one off. It must just,
Yeah, you've
can't
got,
see anything.
or you got the lemonades, the tear-ups, or we got a roll-up. And when it's like raining really hard and the dirt is like really wet, we take roll-offs. And then we have a guy that makes, I don't even want to know how many of those goggles he has to make, but he preps them for us like really well. So there's like, let's say there's 40 riders on the gate and there's 5 riders with his goggles. Only those 5 riders are gonna make it with their goggles to the finish line. Like you'll see everyone else throwing them off. Honestly, I prefer roll-offs as well over like the tear-offs because it's just easier and you just pull and it gets clear. But I think on the harder tracks, when I use tear-offs, I got 21. We always put standard like 21. But then
That's insane.
yeah, but if you have a bad start and you start in the back, you're going to have to pull like 1 or 2 every lap. And when you start at the front, you maybe use 1.
Yeah, I mean, I remember races in the rain where you're kind of just staring at the guy's rain light ahead. So I can't imagine actually having mud, like covering, like we could still see, it was just mist, but actually having no vision must be scary.
Yeah, and after a while, like when it's getting too crazy or you're out of roll-off or out of tear-offs and you start wiping the lens, then you know it's going to be bad. Because if it's like still 10 minutes on the clock, you need to take off the goggles and then you are just getting stones in your face and everything.
How many times have you taken off your goggles? I didn't know you did.
I think I did it once or twice. And then after that, I went to the guy that makes the goggles.
Yeah,
I was like,
I need some help.
I need some
I've
help.
got rocks in my eyes and everything.
That must have looked so heroic though. Like you just on a
come in.
massive jump, throw goggles.
Oh, it's actually a really cool video if you throw them off.
Yeah, that's
But it's so, then you get so many comments like, oh, she's throwing off like $120 goggles. And
I need to see though. Like, come on.
Do you think you're an adrenaline junkie? Like, do you like
Definitely.
roller coasters and stuff?
yeah, I love that. Definitely.
Really? Would you jump out of a plane?
Yes, that's on my bucket list for sure.
What else on your bucket list?
Well, it's not crazy, but I would love to go like to Dubai and cycle through the desert. That would be so cool. But
You like the extremes.
I've done cycling in a sandstorm. I can assure you it's not that fun. No. There was sand coming out of my ears for like 2 weeks.
oh, and I told my mom this. It's probably not gonna happen, but for my 18th birthday, I want to go like on a hot balloon. What's it like?
Balloon, yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to do that.
They scare me.
I don't think I'd like
I
to
don't
do
think I
that.
trust a balloon.
That would be so cool. You can.
It does look really cool, but I don't know if I trust a balloon.
Yeah, it seems a bit suspicious, doesn't it?
I would definitely, yeah.
So, obviously a big question. What was that feeling like when you crossed the line and became the youngest ever WMX world champion?
Well, that was, I don't even know how to describe it. That was crazy and insane. Not just crossing the finish line, but that last lap, that was so long. Like, you've dreamed, like, always of being a world champion. And then you're, like, 2 minutes away from actually becoming one. And then I was also becoming the youngest ever world champion. So I was, like, thinking, don't break the bike, don't crash. And then I came over the finish line and it was just all relief. Because we've had like quite some tough winters, like with breaking up with teams and then being all alone, breaking my arm. Like it was like really tough. So coming over the finish line, and then I saw my trainer and some friends like on the right after the finish line. I was like, yes, I made it finally. And then I drove to my family and the rest of my friends, and it was just so awesome. Like it was literally like a dream coming true. It was unbelievable.
Massive relief. Were you driving around? Were you like, do you ever have, say you're leading a race and there's a lot of pressure and you say it's for the title. Do you ever drive around and you think the bike's messing up? You hear different sounds, like your brain's tricking you. I used to have that sometimes. If you're leading, you think the car's breaking down or something like that. Were you just so focused on the job?
Well, I'm not. Normally the bike I trust a lot. But it's just like the slower riders that I don't trust. Like when you come and lap some riders, that's when I get really scared. Like if they just make like a little mistake and they hit you, it's done.
Hard to avoid, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, let's hope you get another moment like this.
I really hope so.
Yeah.
But of course, it's never going to be the same like the first one.
Yeah, that's probably going to be a big one.
Yeah.
Back's still good though. I think it will still feel quite good.
I think that's still.
I think it'll definitely still feel quite good for sure.
And we'll get another one of your jerseys on the board.
Yeah, we need more. We need more.
Yeah.
We'll just fill the whole room with jerseys, hopefully.
If I win again this year, then next year I want to ride with number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Because for us it's a choice. So this year it's like no pressure this year, just ride. Because when you ride with number 1, it's like you have to win. Yeah. That's just the way it is.
On your back then.
Literally.
And I think that looks so cool.
It does. I think if you've done back to back, I think you deserve that.
I think you could probably take the one.
Yeah, we'll take the one.
Maybe, yeah. So many people asked me already this year, like, why don't you ride number 1? I was like, no pressure, leave me alone.
Yeah, let me get back to back first, please.
Yeah.
Should we ask our official question?
Our official question. So we're going to be asking every guest this that comes on. What is your first memory of motorsport?
That's a long time ago.
Well, I mean, you're 17, so I feel like it's not that long.
No, it's probably when I got my first bike. There was it was a PW50, and it was white with pink. And then probably my brother, I don't even know, but someone put a sticker on my front fender from Twin Air. It's actually like a good sponsor of me since like I started racing. And it was orange, so I saw it. I stopped in the middle of the track. I was like, I looked at it. I looked at my mom. I looked back and I pulled it off and threw it off the ground. That was so funny.
I love that. Pretty random, but I love it. And ever since then, you've just fallen in love with the sport. And you're just...
Probably, yeah.
Wow.
That's it. That's where the story started.
But it's so funny because for me right now, it's not just only racing. Like for racing, I have to travel a lot. Like we travel with the van to Italy, France, and we stay there for a couple days or weeks. And I really enjoy like traveling and seeing parts of the world,
Yeah, and being on the road.
Yeah, I love that.
Pretty cool, like at a young age, to be able to explore the world doing something you love.
Definitely, yes.
That's kind of the dream.
How has all this traveling and racing affected like your social life with friends at home and things like that? It must be quite tough to kind of stay in touch. Or are you more friends with people at the tracks?
Well, I like the friends from, I'm not going to school anymore, like for 1.5, 2 years already. Yeah. But like my friends from school, they just basically faded away because I was always away, And then all the friends from motocross, you see them every week, every weekend, or at the race, or you go training together. Like you always see them, and those are basically the only people you get to see,
Yeah, because I find the same thing. All my closest friend group now is all people that were my teammates in go-karting.
Yeah.
Like I literally don't have any friends from school.
No,
from back then, because I left early, and you get so disconnected, you end up just growing with the racing crowd.
Yeah, and also like your like what you like is so much different from those people.
Yeah, it's such a different life, isn't it? Like racing just completely takes over your life.
Yes,
like it's every day you're thinking about it.
Yeah, that's why I say if you don't enjoy it,
takes over your mind.
Stop. Yeah.
No, that's fair enough. Yeah. There's no point if you don't enjoy it.
When I stopped, you said, we were talking about the identity. I really struggled. I was like, I don't know what to do anymore. Like, what am I? You know, I'm not. I was a racing driver since I was 9 years old, so that was definitely a weird
You never
thing.
knew anything else.
It just completely engulfs your mind. Like every day, you're probably thinking about the championship or the next race. Like it's always there.
Now you're here making a podcast.
Yeah, now we're here.
Yeah, we are.
If you're out at a Grand Prix with your mates, you don't need to worry about all the maths when splitting bills. You can split bills with Revolut at the touch of a button and send them reminders if they're slow to pay you back. And if you're abroad or in need of cash, Revolut also has you covered with the no Revolut fee withdrawals worldwide at ATM within your plan allowance. And Revolut's ATM Finder feature easily shows you the nearest ATMs, and you can filter to only show the ones that are surcharge free. A huge thank you to Revolut for sponsoring this video. You can check out the link below or the QR code on screen and sign up to Revolut and get £20, $20 or 40 Australian dollars after using the card just once.
Well, Lotte, it's been so lovely talking to you and learning all about what you do. I now know what motocross is. I know the ins and
You
outs.
learned
To a
something
race.
new.
I have learnt something
You
new.
got to come to a race at some point.
Yeah, I mean,
It is really cool.
really.
Yeah.
I want to see the jump.
Don't put on your white sneakers though.
No,
No.
none of that. I'll put my boots on or something. I do want to see you flying through the air, though. I think that would
It
be
is
really
really
cool.
Oh, all the time.
Is that that's your favorite bit? No, flying.
I can tell you, yes. When there's a big jump and only the boys are jumping and no girls, I will be the girl to jump
Yeah,
it.
that's
I've got like 50 videos on my phone of Lotte just jumping. I'm like this. What is this? This is amazing.
Well, I think I'm going to stick to 4 wheels if that's okay. 2 wheels
I'll
sounds.
stick to just
terrible.
Yeah.
watching and supporting you.
We'll be on the side.
I think before we wrap up, what kind of advice would you have for the younger girls that are maybe watching this or started motocross? Like, what advice do you have for them coming through the ranks and trying to aspire to be the world champion like you are?
Probably to never stop starting, because if you stop to try, it's never going to work out. And when you work really, really hard, no matter if you have a lot of money or you don't, if you work hard, you get the results, then you will definitely be seen.
I love that. That's good advice. I'm going to take it on board as well. Thank you, Lotte. I feel like I've learned so much today.
It's been amazing. Yeah, thank you for coming on. Obviously, we'll be supporting you the rest of this season. Fingers crossed, back to back, youngest world champion.
Let's
Sounds
hope
quite
so.
nice.
Would be cool.
So, Lotte, obviously, thank you for coming in today. Fingers crossed for the rest of the year. Back-to-back world championships. That is the goal, hopefully, and the dream. We hope to see it happen. And yeah, we look forward to obviously the rest of the year as well, bringing you in some content. And yeah, there's going to be a lot to look forward to for the remainder of 2025. So thank you again for coming on.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for me being here.
It's our pleasure.